Hi, I'm Amy Mozzie with Centurion Boats, and today I'm going to walk you through the all-new 2025 Ri265. We are the inventors of the surf boat. We built the first surf boat in 1995. Now, we've built the biggest surf boat. The Ri265 is 26.5 feet long, and the Wave is even longer. Let's check it out. So you see the Ri265 coming way down the lake. Why? Because you have these powerful docking lights. By Baja Racing, they actually have 2,400 lumens of power per light, which is 4,800 lumens a side. So they are bright when you need them, but they can be turned off when you don't. They give you that extra visibility in front of the boat. But you also have some style on the front of this bow. You've got a lit Centurion and you've got the look of a Centurion, and it's very distinct. So even when that boat's coming at you, you know that's an RI. So as we move towards the windshield of the Ri265, you start to understand just how special and customizable this particular Centurion model is. As we get to these vents, these are new for 2025, made by Roswell Marine, and they go through a very extensive process just to paint them a color. They're actually available in 18 different colors. Yes, you can make your Ri265 all your own. So it goes through a multi-step process to make sure these vents stay the color that you choose. Speaking of the windshield of the Ri series, this is the vented Centurion windshield. It actually has air vents with doors that are branded with the Centurion Warrior that can be opened up to allow air to flow through or closed to keep you all nice and cozy behind the windshield. But there's also a signature customizable element to this windshield. You can customize the A-pillar of the windshield, which is this accent piece in red you see behind me on either side, and that is also available in 18 different colors. So this particular 2025 Ri265 was built as a Warrior Edition. Now that comes with all kinds of signature Centurion options as a part of that package. One of the most distinctive that you can see from the exterior of the boat is the gel coat scheme. The Warrior Package gel coat scheme allows you to custom color your deck base and your hull base independent of one another. So in this case, I have charcoal as the hull base and I have red, fire red, as the deck base. And that is another layer of customization that the Warrior Edition offers you on an Ri. So as we move further down the side of this Ri265, you notice another brand new vent for 2025, but this one has another significance as well. The ram fill vent. Our ram fill system in the 265 is almost 3,000 pounds of ballast located in the midship area of the boat or underneath the seating of the lounge. And this fills in 90 seconds when you're underway. So you've got 3,000 pounds of ballast that you can bring onto the boat relatively quickly. You can even empty it faster. This particular feature is not just beautiful to look at, it's extremely functional, and it gives you that long surf wave. So the other customizable part of the Predator Power Tower is this tower shield, and you can actually choose between 37 different gel coat colors to match to the exterior of your boat, or you can do something completely different. This particular color is gunmetal flake, and it matches the exterior of the hull below, but you can go crazy with this. We could have made it green gel coat if we wanted to. So this is another customizable element of the Predator Power Tower. You also have the customizable color on the Centurion badge on the Power Tower. That's 18 different colors. You can make this one and it will match your center section at all times. You can customize this tower any way you want, so it is as beautiful as it is extremely functional. I know we've talked a lot about the exterior look of the Ri265, but this is a 26.5-foot boat, so it's going to take us a little bit. Another option that you have on the 2025 Ri265 is the Centurion Lit badge. And this is beautiful to look at, but it can be custom colored as well. This is in red. You can get this in 18 different colors to custom match the exterior of your Ri. On the 2025 Centurion Ri265, you can get one of 3 gel coat schemes. This scheme we call the slice scheme. You can also opt for the drive scheme or it comes standard with the core scheme. The core scheme has a bigger flood of color on the middle of the boat, but whatever you want, however you want your Ri265 to look, we can build it for you. As we move, and I promise we're close to the back of the boat, as we move further down the side of the Ri265, you can start to see some other really functional elements on this boat. In fact, the gas fill, this function exists on any Centurion, where you have dual fills. I have one on either side of the boat, which means no matter what side your tow vehicle fills on, you have the opportunity to pull straight into a fuel station, fuel up. You don't have to turn the boat around after you fuel the truck. We try to make it as easy and as functional as possible. Another option that really helps out, and this is on the water, is our pop-in bumper cleats. These allow you to pop in a Centurion bumper and not take up one of your tie-up cleats. So you can tie to the dock from one cleat and have a bumper already ready to go when you're pulling in. So you've got that added layer of peace of mind when you're pulling into the dock. And Lord knows we all need that. As we move towards the corner of the Ri265, you start to see the model designator, and it's lit, so you know this is an Ri265, but it's encapsulated in this vent, and this vent is new from Roswell. And like I explained, it is a special process that allows the color to adhere perfectly to this vent in a variety of weather that you can actually see this color in this same pristine condition throughout the life of the boat. As we move towards the rear corner of the Ri265, there's another signature element of this boat that I want to describe that's not readily visible, and that is the OptiView running surface. And where that optimization really happens is on the rear corner of the boat. And there is a flat triangle that acts as a lifting pad on either rear corner, and it gives the boat balance from side to side weight shift. And what that helps you achieve is a perfectly symmetrical wakeboard wake, as well as a very easily formed surf wave on either side. It gives you balance and optimization, despite the fact that a Centurion has a deep V hull with 20 degrees of dead rise, and it's displacing all that water. You don't have the typical side-to-side weight sensitivity that you do with a deep V hull. As we turn towards the transom of the Ri265, you start to realize there's a bunch going on under this swim step. We have a lot to talk about here and a lot of very instrumental pieces of this boat. So new for 2025, both the Quick Surf and the Silent Stinger are standard on the Ri series. So what you can see with these two signature Centurion elements is we are trying to build all of the function into the boat from the get-go. When you order this Ri, it's always going to come with this signature Centurion function. The Quick Surf is a trim tab on either corner of the boat that goes down opposite the surf side and ends up digging or displacing the surf corner to create the curl of the wave. When you want to switch sides, it's just a press of the screen at the dash and it switches in 1.8 seconds. So you can transfer, you can start out on one side and skip over to the other side. Now I can't do that, but many of you probably can, and this particular boat gives you that functionality standard. You also have the ability to change the running attitude of the boat with the Silent Stinger wake plate. The Silent Stinger, as the name suggests, also dampens the noise of the engine and allows the interior of the boat to be extremely quiet. In fact, it's as quiet as a kitchen dishwasher at about 75 decibels at the passenger seat. So you can have a normal inside voice conversation and not be yelling at each other throughout the boat. The way that it does this or achieves this silencing is it tumbles water that's forced in through the bottom of the plate with the exhaust of the engine through a series of baffles, and it dampens the noise of the engine. So not only does the plate itself change the running attitude of the boat and allow you to either get the most aggressive part of the V down, cutting through chop on a rough day at the lake, or allow you to get the back of the boat deeper into the water to displace more water for a bigger wave or wake, it also dampens the noise of the engine. We've got 3 patents on this particular piece of a Centurion, and you're going to realize all of the benefits from that particular option. When the boat is not ballasted. An Ri265 swim step sits kind of high out of the water. So high, in fact, that sometimes you feel like you need a ladder to get in the boat. The reason for that is because of the 5,800 pounds of ballast that is available in this boat that displaces the boat. We want a lot of freeboard. We want to make sure that there is no chance of water coming over the back of the boat when you're surfing, and that you've got all of that depth to compensate. However, if you don't have all of that ballast filled and you go for a swim and you want to get back into this Ri265, you may need a ladder. Fortunately, we offer one. This telescoping ladder is available to help individuals like myself get into the boat, even though the swim step may be kind of far out of the water. It's very helpful. It's also easy to deploy. And when you're done, you can just reach under the swim step and secure it right back in place. It doesn't affect your surf wave. It doesn't drag in the water. It's there when you need it and put away when you don't. Another option available on the 2025 Centurion Ri265 is the double shift driver assist system. What this is two motors that actuate two propellers that are mounted within this cylinder, and they will either go one way or make the transom of the boat push one way or the other while working against each other. So one prop is spinning one way while the other spinning the other way to make sure that the boat has enough power to move that transom and adjust that. Where is that helpful to a driver? Well, when you are trying to dock, when you're trying to get the boat onto a trailer, and let's say there's a little bit of wind, or, this is a 26.5-foot boat that is extremely tall. Like we talked about, it has to be because of the amount of ballast that's in this boat, and we want to sometimes get it into a little bit of a tight spot. We can get that help that we need from the double shift. The double shift allows you, in conjunction with the throttle and the position of the rudder, to move towards a dock and just move the transom towards the dock. Remember, an inboard boat typically backs to the right because of the prop rotation. What the double shift allows you to do is counteract that traditional prop rotation and move the boat to where you want, when you want. Also available for 2025 on the RI series boats, you have underwater lights. And these aren't just any underwater lights. These underwater lights are made by Technique, and they are extremely powerful. You get them in a pair, and each pair is 10,000 lumens. So you've got 20,000 lumens total. So that's a really, really bright future I see for you. So as I step up onto the swim step of the Ri265, first thing I notice is how beautiful the swim step is and how functional as well. The swim step has tooled in handles so you can more easily pull yourself up onto it from the water. It also has this warrior pattern on the Gator Step, and this allows for that beauty to really shine through. You get to see the different colors. There's 3 different layers of Gator Step available, and each of those layers is available in 15 different colors. Plus, I've got this really cool warrior head cut into it. It's just a beautiful sight, but also very functional and comfortable too. So I can put my shoes away in the rear trunk storage area. There's also an available ballast bag in this storage area, or you can just use it for gear. It's completely up to you. It also acts as a really nice seat, so I can sit back here. I've got some cup holders that are really close. I've also got a remote for my stereo system, so I can control the tunes even from the back of the boat. And it's just really comfortable, functional, and also pretty. As I sit up on the back of the Ri265, that comfort that I described extends. In fact, the whole sun pad is blanketed in comfort, and you could even use a towel to cover it and lay out up here. It's really, really comfortable. But right now, I'm not really in the mood for laying out, but I could be talked into lounging. And with these flip-up leanbacks, they give me the perfect opportunity. So as I step down in to the Ri265, I start to understand why the capacity rating for people on this boat is Yacht certified. This thing is huge. It accommodates a lot of people and a lot of people's stuff, but that yacht certification means that that's kind of up to the captain to make sure that they're operating safely with a good amount of people that are also operating safely. But it also is a distinction that's given by the NMMA that says that our boats, Centurion boats, are built to the standard of yacht manufacturers. And I think that's an important distinction to make. And it's something that becomes completely obvious when you sit down into the interior of this boat. It seems as nice and as luxurious as a yacht. So it can't just be about the look of the Ri265 interior. It's also got to be about the comfort. When you sit down into this boat, you are extremely comfortable. Part of that comfort comes from the way that our seats are built, and they're all built in-house here at the Centurion factory in Merced, California. And what we use are some very specialized material to not only get that comfort, but also to get that beautiful look that you see on a Centurion interior. So there are 3 densities of foam used in our cushions. There is a really, really cushy piece of foam that's right on the other side of the vinyl. Then there's a little more dense but still giving piece of foam right next. Then you have on the bottom a rigid foam that allows for a lot of support and structure. And what they combine to give you is a really, really nice place to sit. But it wouldn't be anything without the vinyl and the stitching that's holding all that foam together. We use a spraddling vinyl that has a 17 mil top coat. That top coat is what guards against abrasions, acid rain, UV rays, and keeps your interior looking as good as the day you bought it years later. All of that vinyl is also sewn together with thread that is so strong, it's stronger than the vinyl itself. It is a Teflon thread, essentially. It is indestructible. And this year, for 2025, we have it in 14 different colors. So you can truly customize your interior, even with the thread color. So not only are the thread and vinyl choices you have in a Centurion extremely beautiful, they're extremely strong, and they allow you to make your interior on this Ri265 look any way you want. New this year in the Ri series, you can opt for a vinyl scheme that's different than we've ever had before. It's Cool Touch vinyl. So on your main and your base color areas of the interior, which honestly cover almost all of the seats, you can choose between 6 different colors of Cool Touch vinyl. So you can definitely keep your Centurion's interior even cooler. You have several different Gator Step flooring schemes that you can choose for your new Ri265. This particular boat has the Warrior floor in it. This is a Warrior Edition boat, and in that particular edition, you can choose between this Warrior scheme and the Salute to Service scheme that has a combination of stars and stripes and flags running through it. The cool thing about both of these flooring schemes is they have 3 layers, and on each of those layers you can choose between 15 different colors of Gator Step. So again, you can customize the interior of your Ri265 any way you like. Standard for this year in the Ri series, you have limo lighting, and why shouldn't you? These boats are like limos on the inside, so why not light it up just like they do? We talk a lot about the customization that's available in the Ri series, but specifically in the Ri265, and none of that customization seems more evident to me than the accent stitching that we offer in the Ris. So you have 3 different options as far as the graphic stitching that goes into these boats. You've got the standard Ri stitch, which is not featured here. This is the topo stitch, which is available if you opt for ordering a Warrior Edition boat. So this topo stitching is beautiful, and it will reflect whatever color of thread you choose. Now you can choose between 14 different colors on the thread. The other option you have is a new option for 2025 on the Warrior Edition specifically. You can get 2-tone stitching, which gives you 2 choices of colors. So you can do 14 colors on one stitch, 14 colors on another stitch. Again, another level of customization. But that customization and beauty definitely flows through to the side panel. So on the side panel, which is a fiberglass gel-coated part, I can get 37 different gel coat colors on my side panel. I can set my interior side panel off any way I'd like. I also have RGBW lighting on the interior side panel, so I can customize my lighting color at will. This year also new that standard in the Ri series is a new clamping wireless cell phone holder in the side panel. So not only do I have my typical USB and USB-C power points available in the side panel, I also have a wireless charging cell phone holder right here, and it's not taking up any of my cup holders. I've still got a good 5 cup holders for all the passengers that can fit in this Ri265. So if you have a good number of people on your Ri265, you need to have spots for all their stuff. You don't want to be tripping over it. Luckily, the Ri265 has storage underneath the entire lounge, as well as the observer seat. And this storage is pretty deep considering the amount of ballast that is in this boat. 5,850 pounds of ballast, yet we still have all of this storage on top of those subfloor tanks. And you have a great friction mat that is in this storage area that allows everything to kind of stay where you put it instead of slipping and sliding throughout these big storage areas. These storage accesses are also hinged and shocked, so I don't need any hands. I can open it up, I can load my gear in, and then close it up, and it is out of sight, out of mind until I need it. We want the seating in an Ri265 to be as versatile as it needs to be for the amount of people that this boat can accommodate. And for that reason, we developed the 5-position slide seat. Now, it's 5 positions in the Ri265 compared to some of the other shorter Centurion models because there's more room to work with. And essentially, it's got a lock at each position, and I can easily move it from position to position. It starts out in the very back and can go all the way up to the cockpit. It gives you the flexibility of having someone right up next to the driver and the observer, maybe with the optional leanbacks plugged in, kind of all huddling behind the windshield on a cool day on the water, or you can specifically place your weight for wakeboarding or surfing, and you can move a couple people to the center of the boat if that's what gives you the best shape on your wake or wave. This is made to be extremely versatile. The other piece of this is I can plug a table, which is optional in the Ri265, into 4 different positions on this slide seat, and essentially I can slide that table throughout the interior to make it accessible and accommodating for however you, your family, your friends like to boat. So when we talk about signature Centurion options, we have to start with the Predator Power Tower. Why is it so intricate to our brand message and what we do as a company? Because it accomplishes a specific function. It provides a specific benefit to the customer, which is it allows you to be in shade no matter what angle of the sun. How does it do that? It makes the bimini go up and down while still remaining parallel to the floor. And it accomplishes that with Leanback linear actuators that are rated at above 2,000 pounds, so they can handle that amount of weight or force. But there are 4 of them mounted on the interior of this tower, and they're actually smart. They check with one another as they're going up or going down and make sure everybody's doing what they should do in that job of keeping the bimini parallel to the floor and allowing you to get shade no matter what time of the day. The other distinction here is if I'm towing on a trailer, I can lower the bimini for less wind resistance. And yes, I can tow with this 9-foot bimini canvas up. I can even tow a rider at any tower height behind the Predator Power Tower. That is literally the power of this tower. Now, we've talked about the functionality. Let's talk about how beautiful this tower is. Not only beautiful, but customizable. For 2025, you can actually change the color of the top section of the Predator Power Tower to any one of our 18 colors. You can do this as we have here in red or any of the other 17 colors that you would like to see on your tower. That color also changes the Centurion badge on the exterior of the tower. But also the shape of this tower really goes with the lines of the Ri series for Centurion, and that's because it was designed that way. The other part of the construction that I think is very, very unique is the process they use to color the tower, which is a chem film process, which allows the surface of the metal of the tower, both cast pieces and aluminum pieces, to be prepared properly so that you can apply color and that color lasts. It doesn't just last, but it looks like the first day you took it out on the water, on the last day you have it on the water. So it is extremely, extremely beautiful for the entire life of your boat. The other piece of the construction process that's very unique to the Predator Power Tower is the bases. Actually, it's the base and the top corner sections. They are cast in the US of A, which is very unique for parts of this nature, and they are using a permanent mold cast. Now, that's a cast that's typically reserved for parts that are in an engine or a motor of some sort, a combine, because they have to be extremely precise. Well, we use that type of cast for the exterior finish of these particular parts so that they always look beautiful and they're extremely consistent even to your eye. This tower is built to last. It is built to be exactly what you want it to look like on the water, and it's built to give you and your family the function you need when you're out on the lake or when you're towing it behind your tow vehicle. So not only is the Centurion Predator Power Tower, or the PPT as we lovingly refer to it, not only is it beautiful in and of itself, extremely functional and extremely strong, it has a platform for lots of cool options, one of which is the Bombshell 2.0 racks. These racks are very functional because they swivel in, but the rack will actually be positioned straight back just like this so that you can tow and avoid catching every single bug on the way to the lake. You can also swivel it all the way in to load in my surfboard. And it's really one of those processes that's easy to do. So all I have to do is flip this grabber kind of opposite the way it would be if the board was inserted. I can put as wide as a 23-inch surfboard into this tine and then pull this back out, spin it around, and grab onto that surfboard. So it's really easy to do, but what makes it ultra easy is the fact that I can swivel this rack back into the interior and be able to insert that board without, twisting my back to get it in when it's positioned towards the outside of the boat. You can also get this rack custom colored. You have 18 different colors to choose from, so you can match it to the center section of your tower, to a gel coat color that's on the exterior of the boat, whatever you want to do. Another really cool piece of the Bombshell 2.0 racks is they come with flag holders. And you can get an optional package from Centurion with our Centurion flag and an American flag, and you can fly your flags high on the lake this summer. You've also got the option of a single shell rack, which is mounted on either corner, either top corner of the Predator Power Tower. That gives you additional surfboard storage on either side, a single board, but it also gives you ability to set that board on its edge and keep it perpendicular to the sun, which really makes the board last longer, secures it even more, and it's not parallel to the sun, which tends to offer an opportunity for delamination. And those boards, we invest so much in them. We want to keep them as pretty, beautiful, and as functional as they can be for as long as they can be. The other thing you've got on the Predator Power Tower is probably one of the biggest elements. Not probably, it is the biggest element. It is 9 feet long. The bimini, it covers almost the entire lounge. But optionally, you can get an extension for this bimini. It is a so long extension, and it extends from 5 feet further back to 8 feet further back. So you can actually put a so long bimini extension on the Predator Power Tower bimini, which is made by Roswell, and you can get that shade all the way back to your swim step. So the options that are available for the Predator Power Tower almost outweigh the features. The stereo system that's on this 2025 Centurion Ri265 is the Warrior 2.0 system. It's available exclusively on the Predator Power Tower, and you can see it here. It's pretty major as far as looks. The enclosure is covered in matching Gator Step, and you can either get the enclosure in black or white with that matching Gator Step. It also is lit with your RGBW LED lights, but we've got a number of speakers that are not necessarily in the tower. We have 2 down-firing 8-inch speakers in the tower. We have 4 12-inch speakers that are firing back. But then on the interior of the boat, we have another 8 8-inch speakers, and we have a subwoofer that's mounted beneath the driver's dash, as well as a subwoofer that is optional and can be put in the observer's storage area. So this stereo is no joke. It's the Warrior 2.0 by Wet Sounds. A very distinct element of the Ri265 and the Ri245 is this rear-facing lean back behind the driver. This gives you the opportunity to have a seat that can see all of the action going on behind the boat comfortably. But the other reason for this enclosure is a couple. I've got a couple more cup holders available here, and one of my favorite things as a mom, I've got a trash can. So I can throw my trash away, keep it from out of everybody's visibility, out inside the boat, and I can keep it in here until I want to dump that trash, and then I have easy access to it through the lean back. So to me, this is one of those features that is extremely helpful on the water to a mom, but to everybody else, because I can make sure everything is in its place, including the trash. Another feature that's very, very functional in the Ri265 is this rear-facing lean back on the passenger side, the port side. This can either be down or you can have it up like this, and it allows for another person that is comfortably viewing the action happening behind the boat, and it doesn't prevent a second person from sitting in the OB seat and having a place for my feet to go. So one of the new standard features for 2025 on the Ri265 is this really cool wireless clamping cell phone holder. Now, we've always given one to the driver in the Ri series, but we thought that the other passengers might get a little jealous, so we've added 3 more clamping wireless cell phone holders throughout the interior, one of which is located here at the passenger dash. The other thing you'll notice that is really cool and different for 2025 is the glove box lid. Not only is it black, it is black aluminum, billet aluminum that is lit with the Centurion and the Warrior logo, and it really just sets this area off. You add the cup holders, the functionality of that wireless cell phone charger, a grab handle that's right near the observer, and then you've got the ultimate in experience, even for the passenger. So when we get to the driver's area of the Ri265, you really feel spoiled. But one of the things that you feel first is the driver's seat. This is a Cobra Racing driver's seat. It comes standard in the Ri series, and it's extremely comfortable, very supportive. It's got a high back, but it also kind of secures the driver in place with these side pieces. But there's a cutout where I can throw my leg over and kind of easily look back to my rider, communicate with everybody on the inside of the boat, or if I want to really just swivel all the way around to see what's really going on. What did you just say? How's he doing back there? I can do that very easily as well. So you'll notice a big difference in the Ri265 dash for 2025 model year. You can't help but notice. And the first thing that you have to see is the captive dash screens. These are captive side-by-side screens. They are 14 inches in size, and they definitely captivate you. But the great thing is the brow of the dash has been lowered to the screen height, so I can still see all of the water in front of me, even though I'm captivated by these 2 new large screens. So what you've got functionality-wise is control over every single system in this boat, and intuitive control. So I've got a navigation menu that is on my right side at the bottom of the right-hand screen, and it gives me the ability to toggle between my home screen, my surf screen, my lighting, my maps, my music, my ballast levels very easily in this 6-button navigation. So It's super intuitive. It also gives me really good view of how fast I'm going, what my motor is doing. Do I have enough fuel? And I've still got all of my trip information that I get standard in the RI series with the Rove, the range of view. I can see what's ahead of me at my bow with the bow camera. I can see what's behind me, either if I'm going in reverse or if I have a rider in tow with the transom camera. And I can see all of my trip information real time. I can tell how much fuel I'm using. I can tell if I have enough fuel to get to that next spot on the lake. And all of this happens in this captive dash system. The other really cool thing about the 2025 model year dash is the quad heating vents. Yes, so these lit vents, not only are they cool looking and you can adjust the RGBW color of them to whatever color you'd like, they are warming. They warm my heart and me personally, because you've got heaters, vents, and you've got some right by your hands on the steering wheel, so I can always be warm and always be comfortable driving the boat. The other thing I have is a wireless clamping cell phone holder, and I have access to all of my stereo controls through my Wet Sounds head unit, which is a touch screen, and it has a regular volume knob. So I can adjust the volume of my stereo quickly and easily. That's really, really helpful when I'm coming back around to pick up a rider. I don't have to mess with wherever my music menu might be in my screen. I can just grab the knob, turn the volume down, check on my rider, make sure they're good, and then boom, we're off to another set. That is very, very functional to me. The other thing I have complete control over is my center silent stinger wake plate, and that is controlled as far as the running attitude of this Centurion at my left hand, and then I have control of my set speed through my zero off speed control with the paddles, the sport shifters that are on my right side. So I never have to take my eyes off the water or off the rear view mirror, seeing my rider. I can adjust that stinger wake plate just with a couple fingers pulling the sport shifter towards me, or I can adjust my set speed that easily. But if I'm not in cruise control and I want to just throttle this boat up and down, I have a really cool throttle this year. Not only is it lit, but it allows me a really good angle to set my arm down and control the throttle. So I've got a really nice wide ledge to set my arm on, and it's a perfect angle. So my hand can be on this throttle, I can be adjusting it and easily not get tired. The other thing I love, and I'm gonna have to keep my eyes on the water and not on all this cool lit Centurion badge, but we've got that at the throttle console as well. So I've got all of this control, all of this cool look and style, and it's all in the 2025 model year Ri265 dash. One of the challenging pieces about a day on the lake is, number one, bringing the ice chest. Number two, where are you gonna put it? And this boat, the Ri265, has all of those questions answered. Why? Because the ice chest is in the floor, and it's easily accessible on top of that. So it's out of the way when you don't need it. But when you do, you can have drinks and ice loaded directly into this enclosure, or honestly, you could use it for dry storage. Either way, everyone in the boat has easy access to this ice chest, and you can not have to have somebody move, get out of the way, bring it over here in order to get to it. I can access it from the driver's seat. My observer could access it. Anybody can get up, grab a drink, grab a towel if that's what you have in there, very easily, very conveniently. Like I mentioned earlier, I love to talk about the trash cans. I'm a mom. I want to make sure everything, especially the trash, is put away out of sight. And I have a whole nother trash chute that's really easily accessible for me, the driver, or the observer, to make sure that my Ri265 stays as clean as can be. So when we talk about Centurion boats being walk-through open bows, what does that mean? Well, just this. I can open the windshield, walk through to the bow, and this year, standard, we have our Centurion wind block, so I can remove that because I just want to get in the bow now and make my way in to this huge bow. So like most RIs, you sit very down into the Ri265. And from here, you've got access to just about everything you need, yes, even in the bow, but you've also got a level of comfort and honestly safety because this bow is extremely deep and supportive. I also have cup holders, I have USB and USB-C power points, I have speakers, and I have optional armrests. But let's say I'm up here in the bow and it's kind of a chilly day on the water. I just got done riding. I can also have access to my standard heater snorkel, put it under my towel, keep myself all warm and cozy, even though I'm up in the bow. So the bow is as accommodating and as comfortable as any other spot in the boat, even when you're underway. You know, we talk about the deep V of a Centurion and what it does for a smooth, rough water ride. Well, there is no seat in the house where that is more evident than the bow. So you can be up here, ride comfortably, be supported, feel secure, and have access to everything you need. I hope you've enjoyed the walkthrough of the 2025 Centurion Ri265. This boat is everything I've described it to be, but you know what? Don't take my word for it. Visit your local Centurion Boats dealer and let us prove it to you on the water today.